It's Friday, March 23rd. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. On today's show, we'll take you inside the Barnstable Youth Commission's 7th grade Youth Summit. Then we'll talk to Recreation Program Coordinator Melanie Mimo about the extravaganza taking place next weekend at Barnstable Intermediate School. And then finally, we check in with Natural Resource Officer Chris Nappy. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. The Barnstable Youth Commission will be hosting their second annual Youth Job Fair on Tuesday, March 27th from 2:30 to 5 p.m. at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. This is a free opportunity for kids to learn how to interview about the importance of a resume, complete a job application, and apply for an available position. All are welcome to attend and participate. If you are a business that will be hiring youth, please contact Amy Harwood at 508-862-4638 to find out how you can take part in this event. A public hearing on proposed changes to various permits and program fees was held on February 13th. These changes were adopted by Town Manager Mark Ells on Tuesday, March 13th. These changes will take effect on July 1st for the following departments: Department of Public Works Solid Waste Division, Hyannis Water System, Regulatory Services Consumer Affairs, Water Pollution Control, and modify changes to the Information Technology Department's GIS Division. They may be viewed on the town website at townofbarnstable.us or in the town manager's office. The Department of Public Works invites interested individuals to attend a public information meeting regarding planned improvements along portions of C Street and Ocean Avenue in Hyannis. The meeting will be held at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, March 27th in the Town Hall hearing room. The purpose of this meeting is to provide residents an opportunity to review the proposed improvements prior to final design and to learn about the projected time frame for construction. Construction is planned to start in the fall of 2018 and is anticipated to continue through 2019. This meeting was rescheduled for March 21st. The Hyannis Fire Department is offering Stop the Bleed training free of charge to anyone in the community who is interested in learning basic, life-saving bleeding control skills. This program teaches basic bleeding control skills that any person is capable of performing. The goal is to create a safer community by empowering our citizens with the knowledge and skills necessary to save a life. They will be offering 2 classes on National Stop the Bleed Day on March 31st at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. Class times are 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Individuals can sign up by going to bleedingcontrol.org and selecting Find a Class, emailing interest to mmadeiros@hyannisfire.org, or by calling 508-775-1300 and requesting the voicemail of EMS Officer Medeiros. The First Tee program of Massachusetts continues its offerings at the Hyannis Golf Course this spring. The First Tee program emphasizes 9 core values: honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, respect, confidence, responsibility, perseverance, courtesy, and judgment. Through golf and core values, your kids and teens will learn life skills like making proper introductions, managing emotions, resolving conflicts, setting up step-by-step goals, planning for the future, and appreciating diversity. Online registration information can be found at massgolf.com. Up next, we take you inside the Barnstable Youth Commission's 7th grade Youth Summit.
The Barnstable Youth Commission held its 4th annual 7th grade Youth Summit on Friday, March 16th. Barnstable Intermediate School students convened at Cape Cod Community College for an all-day event, which included peer leadership sessions, interactive lectures on how to cope with stress and peer pressure, and a vendor fair in the cafeteria. We spoke with Caleb Sonnabend, Vice Chair of the Barnstable Youth Commission, and others about the importance of an event like this, challenges students face, and ways everyone can get involved to impact change.
We view this as a critical time for 7th graders. So as they're moving into high school, they'll experience a lot of new things. Barnstable is a little different from most school systems as we have 8th graders moving to high school. So we definitely view it as a critical time to kind of show them what they might be experiencing in the high school and give them opportunities and help they can receive in the high school and beyond. Here at the moment we have several care facilities here, as well as high schoolers that they can act as resources when they're in the high school. And we have people who will kind of give them a little bit of insight as to what they may or may not experience in the high school.
I'm going to be I'm going to make sure I'm drama-free and make sure I have a good community around me.
Pretty much all the youth in this area to get an opportunity to learn and see some of the actual consequences of some actions. Like choose who you want to surround yourself with and make the right decision. Probably like read people more, like see how they act and see like if they're the right people to surround myself with.
I feel like it's really important because we get to learn about drug abuse and how to cope with it and how to understand, because it's not just don't do drugs. We can understand really more about it. We saw that peer pressure was used a lot, and they taught us how to kind of cope with peer pressure and how to just not just follow everybody and go your own path.
Like media and other influencers, they make our decisions kind of, and it's good to know what you like and what your decisions are.
The biggest challenge for them is life in general. What I mean by that is, they have, and I'll use an example, when I was younger, didn't have social media, didn't have cell phones, didn't have all this outside stuff, and we were kids, and we grew up, we had fun, that's what it's all about. Now it's almost like a competition, you gotta be better than the next person, at such a young age. But it shouldn't be like that. Kid needs to be a kid and have fun and grow up, but because of social media, they see all this stuff that, I got to be better than that, or I got to be like this. There's a lot of more pressure on younger kids. That's the biggest challenge. How do we help that? Well, as adults, we got to put them on the right path and teach them, hey, be you. Be yourself. You don't have to be the next person. You don't have to do everything everybody else is doing. That's just social media. It's not real. Just continue to be who you are and be true to yourself, because in the long run, as you get older, the only one that's going to help you really is you. So there's people in the community, and such a great community we have here in the Cape, that there's people out there that care. Adults, and more than their parents, whether it's the police, the school, which is huge, been huge in this, and also just people, a little bit older, high school kids are there for them, and it's somebody else to reach out to. Because a lot of kids, it's mom and dad. I don't want to talk to the police officer because they're scary. But by us being here and by other people being here, it's not so scary. It's making it a little bit easier for them. Like Officer Brian or, Officer Sonbet or Officer Johnson, they're not too bad to go talk to. They're just regular people doing a job. So it's the biggest thing they're getting out of this. It's just that there's knowledge, first of all, of the dangers of drugs, and it's not all glorified like they see on social media and on television. That there's real danger to it. And the other thing, that there's people out there to help them.
Having an event like this really helps give the kids a sense of community, so they're able to find out that sometimes their thoughts, they're not alone. So now we're able to see certain similarities, and also I think the main purpose is that we're able to give them the tools that they need to help making smart choices. I think when it comes to don't do drugs and that kind of thing, that's great. But when you're dealing with life, it's like, what's the alternative? So now we have to look at giving those types of skills, coping skills, things like that. So that way when they are in certain situations, they know how to make the best choice for them. I think from here, when they leave, they need to be proud of who they are and what they're doing. And then what type of steps are they going to go back to their school to help show other students that they're making the right choices and to get other people to buy in. That's how you can make that change.
I think a lot of the challenges are a lot of peer pressure. We've always had peer pressure, but it's that level of where do I fit in, and just nobody wants to talk to me, or I'm on my phone. So the social skills are deplenished. It's just not as strong as it was because nobody else communicate. The parents aren't talking to the kids got their own, and we're all guilty of being on the phones and doing little words with friends or trying to communicate with each other, and you don't realize it, but next thing you know, your kid's in bed. And then you go to bed. You get up in the morning and you keep going. So it's like you have to put that time aside and just talk to your kids and find out what their day's like, what their likes are. And maybe you'll find out some more stuff about yourself that you didn't realize also. Communication is huge. There are outreach programs. There's different places that they can go and talk to, or just, some kids might want to do sports. So we have to flag football, and the parents are like, no, violent, but it's not about that. It's just getting them out into the community and getting them to learn a little bit more about themselves and stuff that they didn't realize they could do.
I think number one, it shows how much the town of Barnstable cares for its youth. When you've been in education as long as I have, 34 years, I've gone to my share of funerals of students who've died of overdoses, students who've died in drunk driving car accidents. I've gone to over 20 funerals in my 34 years, and I think an opportunity like this is so that younger teachers than I do not have to go to these funerals, that we care so much about these kids. We're trying to make it clear the potholes in the road up ahead. I think in today's world, you see students dealing with so many people in their own sphere who are wrestling with addiction, that these students need support to know they're not alone, to know how to handle the pressures they're faced with, to know how to avoid some of these temptations that could be coming their way. Some of these students, they know the score, but they also need to know ways to push on through. Everyone knows there are sad times in this world, but there's also so much good in this world. Good people, good experiences, futures that are worth living, and that's what these students have to always keep in mind, that no matter how tough the present could be for some of them, the future could just be beautiful.
Coming up, Natural Resource Officer Chris Nappy, but first, Recreation Program Coordinator Melanie Memo. Melanie, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a couple of fun spring activities to talk about today. The first thing we want to talk about is the extravaganza that I know everyone gets so excited about when Easter rolls around.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite events. It definitely means that spring is here when the event comes around.
Mm-hmm. Although it may not quite feel like it outside, it is coming, and the extravaganza is taking place next Saturday, March 31st at BIS. What can you tell me about this event?
The event runs from 11 to 1, and it's geared for kids in grades 3 and under and their families. And we have a huge Easter egg hunt. They have the ability to take their own pictures with the Easter Bunny and the sidekick chick. And we have lots of carnival games, crafts, different novelty items, food, and we also have our balloon twister that comes down and does some pretty awesome balloon creations for everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
It's such a fun event. It's kind of like the not-so-scary Halloween event that you guys do in the fall.
Yeah.
Very similar to that. Is there any cost involved?
The event itself is free to come in. There's no admission. A few of the carnival games and the food are cash only.
Okay. Yep. But still a very reasonable event and kind of a fun thing to do with the family for Easter and get outside and maybe get another use out of that special Easter outfit you may have bought for your child.
Yeah, or those baskets.
Or the baskets, right? Exactly. You know, get a little bit more usage out of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And this is just, just come and enjoy the day event. You don't need to sign up ahead of time or anything like that.
Nope. Yep. That people can just stroll in anytime between 11 and 1, and we'll be there.
Wonderful. And this is at BIS on March 31st. The next thing we want to talk about is the skate park is opening next month, and it went through some renovations last year.
Yeah, we've actually had quite a few years of renovations since we've opened HYCC, but this past year we were able to actually fix our concrete bowls, which has been sort of the downfall of the park. We've had a lot of problems, but now the bowls are safe. They're super smooth, easy to ride, and we actually changed the entrance to the park as well, so it's a little more accessible for everybody and all different riders and ages and abilities. So we're excited to kind of show off all of the improvements that we've made to those things. So.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
The skate park's going to open on April 17th. What are some of the rules and regulations people need to be aware of if they're going to come and spend some time at the skate park?
Yeah, so we just ask everybody to stop at the shack. There's a little shed in the park with staff who will be able to assist you with anything you need. You need to have a signed waiver on file with us. You only need one per year. And if you do need to rent any equipment, it is $1 to rent a helmet, or if you prefer, having knee pads, elbow pads, we do rent those things. But we just require that everybody has a helmet in order to ride.
Mm-hmm. Very important. What kind of, I know it's a skateboard park, but I know that people have ridden razor scooters in there before. Is that correct?
Yeah, razor scooters, BMX bikes, and the occasional inline skaters do come out once in a while. So all 4 of those things. Pretty much if it has wheels and you can ride it, you can come to the skate park.
Very cool. And a part of like this kind of like the renovations are over, you're going to have a celebration on May 12th. This is going to be the Barnstable Skate Park competition and celebration. This is very exciting.
Yeah, so we haven't hosted a comp in quite a few years. So now that all the renovations are done and we're so excited to have a totally safe and clean, ready-to-go park, we're going to have a competition May 12th. And it's going to start about 12 o'clock, and the cost is $5 to enter, and we're going to have a lot of prizes for the different categories, best trick, different age groups. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're hoping to see a lot of new faces, but also some of those old faces that used to come by a lot, and hopefully they can come check out the new park.
Wonderful. It's so exciting that the skate park is opening back up. It's just another sign that spring is trying its best to come here to Cape Cod. So looking forward to all these wonderful events. Melanie, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye. My guest today is Melanie Mimo. She's a program coordinator in the Barnstable Recreation Division. Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about a couple shellfishing things that we want to make sure people are aware of. New shellfish permits are available. When did those went on sale? What, March 1st?
Yeah, so this time of year, it's kind of slower in the shellfishing realm, but it is the time of year where people need to renew their permits. So March 1st, all the permits expired for last year, so you need to renew if you plan on going shellfishing this year. It's time to get it. So it's $40 for resident, $140 for non-residents, and $30 for senior citizen residents.
And it's not a bad price at all when you think about what you're getting. You can go out. There's certain days that you're allowed to go, and you can get oysters and clams and quahogs and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, it's a great deal, and we have a great program here in town, so it kind of pays for itself pretty quickly. So
definitely, and it'll hopefully be warm soon, and I know that people will be wanting to get back out there. I know, and we want to make sure that people know that oyster season has closed.
Yeah, oyster season closed at the beginning of the month as well. It closed on March 8th, so oyster season unfortunately is closed for this year, but it'll open back up in the fall once we get enough big ones and the weather cooperates. So, yep.
What is out there right now at this time of year to get if you're going to go out shell fishing?
Yeah, there's plenty of places with quahogs still. You can get them on both north and south sides of town, and steamers too. We've been finding steamers in a lot of areas, and you can always call the office. Our number, and we'll give you some hints on places to go. And then there's razor clams too. There's a lot of razor clams in Barnstable Harbor, so those are always good to get.
Wonderful. That was going to be my next question, was if razor clams were still available to be had. So
yeah,
it's a different kind of process to get them than it is to just go out and dig, because they'll get away from you real quick. So
yeah, that's different techniques that you can do to get them. You can dig them, but a lot of people like to salt for them. So you spray a salt solution into the holes that you find, and they come shooting out through their hole, and you can just pick them up. It's actually fun. Really fun. Yep.
That's awesome. And then Scudder Lane is going to be closed.
Yeah, so as of April 1st, Scudder Lane recreational shellfishing area will close. So that's the area, if you look to the west of the landing, there's a boathouse there. All the way to the east, Barnstable Yacht Club Pier, and out to the island. That whole area will close as of April 1st. It'll be closed all summer long until the fall. We'll post the opening. It usually coincides around when oyster season opens. So we kind of rest that area. It gives us an opportunity to replant oysters and quahogs there all summer long. It gives the area a rest, and it's just makes it better for everybody once the fall hits.
Yeah, I feel like when oyster season comes, that is like the place to be. So I can understand it would kind of need a little bit of a break, from the heavy traffic, and and it gives you a chance so that when the fall does come, there'll be, you know, something there for people to hopefully harvest.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole idea behind that. You know, it's a very popular place. A lot of people like to go there. So with that, you know, it gets a lot of foot traffic and a lot of people using the resource. So we just want to replenish that. But there's still plenty of other places to go. You can pass the boathouse and go down to Calves Pasture Point. That will still be open down there. And even further to the east, like Rendezvous and Salton Point and Barnstable Harbor, those spots are still open, and you can get your fill of quahogs there. So, yep.
Wonderful. Is there anything else we should let our viewers know about before I let you go?
Just stay warm out there. Hopefully this weather passes, and you know, we'll get some good shell fishing weather sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be nice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Our guest today is Chris Nappy. He's a natural resource officer here in the town of Barnstable. Now it's time for our community calendar. You'll want to save the date for this event. The West Barnstable Civic Association is holding their annual Spaghetti Supper on Saturday, April 7th. The Spaghetti Supper will be held at the West Barnstable Fire Department from 5 to 7:30 p.m. and will include a meatball sub option. There will also be a 50-50 raffle, which will help raise money for the West Barnstable Village Festival. Come out with your family and friends and support this wonderful event. Takeout will be available for those that can't stay. The Barnstable High School Drama Club presents their spring production of She Loves Me. Considered by many to be the most charming musical ever written, She Loves Me is a warm romantic comedy with an endearing innocence and a touch of old-world elegance. Performances continue this weekend with shows on March 23rd and 24th at 7 p.m. and a matinee at 2 p.m. on the 24th. For more information or to buy tickets, you can visit bhsdc.org. Now let's take a look at next week's board, committee, and commission schedule. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back on Monday with an all-new episode of Barnstable Today. On Monday's show, we'll talk with Barnstable High School Athletic Director Scott Thomas, Sharon Boonstra of Cape Cod Community College, and Alice George from the Mercy Otis Warren Cape Cod Woman of the Year Award Committee. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.